Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to askNK. Today we're taking a look at an amazing add-on known as animation layers. This amazing add-on would simplify how you create animations right here in Blender. So if you've ever tried doing animation in Blender, you would notice that most of the time you spend huge amount of time in the NLA trying to tweak certain things. Maybe you want to get some keyframes right, because there is no animation layer. And on the other hand, if you're coming from other DCC app like Maya, 3D Studio Max and so on, you would notice that the animation layer actually gives you a whole lot of leverage for certain things that you can do. And it's pretty interesting to see that we have that right here in Blender. So a huge shout out to the creator of the animation layer add-on known as Tal Heshkovich, as he has actually done something really amazing to give everyone the same amount of experience across the board. So if you want to get this, I'm going to put a link in the description where you can go through and get it. And with this said, we're going to dive directly into Blender and take a look at how you can get this up and running. And in case you want to load this up, you can simply go over to the edit, go over to preference, and directly in preference, go over to add-on, load these, and then you can have this up and running directly in Blender. And it's pretty cool to note that this is supported from Blender 2.8.1 all the way to Blender 2.9. So with Blender open here, you can notice that we have the default cube. I'm just going to go ahead and delete this. Let's get Suzanne right here. Suzanne seems to be right for this occasion, so I'm going to hit Ctrl and 2 just to subdivide her just a little bit. And yeah, press N on your keyboard, you would notice that you have animation layers right here. And for the most part, if you're working with a single object like this, possibly let's just simply hypothetically create an animation. So for this character, I'm just going to simply create a very tiny animation right here. And I'm just going to keep this right about this point. Let's go over to frame 70, and I'm just going to set this to frame 70. So I'm just going to keep that right there. And I'll raise this object all the way up to this point. So we have Suzanne going all the way from up and down. So this is what we have. Let's turn on animation layer and see how we can actually mix certain things together. So with animation layer turned on right here, I can simply go ahead and click on new animation layer. So once you click on new animation layer, you would notice you have the base layer, which is the base layer where the main animation is. So the idea for this is if you're working with motion capture data, or you're working with an animation that you just created, this would actually work for that. We're going to take a look at motion capture data very soon. So with this done, you can now simply jump over to the first animation layer that you've created, and you can make changes to this. And how you can make changes is very simple. So because we have this active, I can simply say, we want to set this as the translation, and probably want to set the second animation layer as the rotation. This might actually come in very handy because in most cases you might just want to get several things done in the different places. And for this, I'm just going to set this to 0, and I'm just going to go ahead and set this to 1, and come right here, insert a keyframe, and go over to frame 30, rotate this just about a point like that. And with this done, I'll go right over to 70, and maybe I would rotate this back to a point like this. So right now we can have this and that, this and that. All right, so this doesn't really look impressive right now, I think, but this is where it actually makes a lot of sense. We are going to go ahead and add one more animation layer. So I'm just going to make sure I have auto key set on, and I'm adding another animation layer. So this is for translate, this is for rotate, and this right now we want to use this for scale. So for the scale, I'm just going to come back here where we have our frame 1, and I'm going to simply add the first key. And once I get to 30, maybe just set this to 35, I would go ahead and press S on the keyboard to scale this right down. Maybe once we get all the way to this point, maybe we should even scale this even way more smaller, so we can have this animation happen right there. Okay, maybe we should scale this even way smaller, so we have our entire animation looking this way. Now why this is happening is because we have the first one, the second one, and the third one. Where it becomes even way interesting is once you select any of this, all right, you can make changes without affecting the previous animation that you've done. So if I select this other one, which we can simply double click right here and change this to rotate, and I can simply double click right here and change this to scale, I can easily come over to this part and say I wouldn't like to have a rotation. I can go over to where I have the influence and simply take this off. And once I do that, you can still notice that we have our translation and our scale, but we have no rotation. I can also go back and turn this on, and also go over to this part where we have the scale and also turn this off. So we can also have our rotation and not have the scale. This is huge. It is huge in the sense that it's going to be a huge time saver for people who wants to tweak their in-betweens. You want to make changes across your keyframes, those tiny subtle changes. This would make a lot of sense for you guys. So Another beautiful thing that you can do now is you can change the blending options, and at the same time you can also change the influence. So for example, you know how we have this. Let's simply go back and turn this one on. I can come over to frame 20 and change the influence of what I want. So this is also animatable because at every point you can simply keyframe this stuff. I can choose to, you know, keyframe these things. I can come over here and add a keyframe, and I can go over to frame 20 and I can choose to keyframe the influence. All right, so you're not just creating animation layers, but you can also alter how these animation layers actually work. So I can come over to this part and I can also add another keyframe. So you can notice we have this right here, we have this right here. This doesn't seem to be happening because we have not told animation layer that we want to animate the influence. So once I turn this on, you would now notice that we have an animation of the influence itself. So this is just crazy. It's crazy because you're not just having the animation layer, you're having influence. You can tweak things up and down, but there is more. Now, more in the sense that if you go over to the blend, you can choose to replace this, make it addictive, and at the same time you can choose to also combine them. So if you want to combine, you can choose to do that. If you want to make it an additive layer, so if you want all of this to just simply add based off what you have on the base, you can simply do all of that. You can also choose to toggle these things up and down. If you want one layer to be on top of another one and go down, you can simply do all of that. So with all of this done, the final part is, once you're done, can you bake this animation and export it maybe for games and stuff? Yes, you can. How you can do that is simple. So if I grab all of this, I can simply bake down. Before I actually start baking down or merging down, I need to make sure that I have Smart Bake turned on. And once I have Smart Bake turned on, I can simply click on Merge Down, and it's going to merge every single thing that we've done under one animation layer. And you can simply check this one out. So if I simply raise this all the way up and go over to where we have our graph editor, you can now notice that we have all of our animations that we've done all done, or you know, all baked up together. So this is very, very interesting. Now with this said, let's take a look at how this works with motion capture file. So for us to actually work with a very cool motion capture file, we're going to go over to Mixamo, download this amazing model, and I'm going to draw that directly here into Blender. And because we just want to see how this works, I'm just going to go ahead and create a brand new scene, and we can load this one right here. All right, so we have this model right here, and this is the Ninja model from Mixamo. So we can actually press the playback button and you can see what we're having. And at any point in time, if you want to make changes, you know, you want to change certain stuff, instead of destroying the underlining animation, you can always make changes using this animation layer. So first things first, we have a story going on right here. We have this character and it's just walking, you know, all the way. We believe this ninja has been injured. Let's take a look at what it looks like when it's shaded. And probably let's take a look at what it looks like when it's in Eevee. Of course, you can notice that we have so many shiny parts, and if you're working with any of these models that you have from Mixamo, most times you wouldn't want to see all of this shiny stuff. So I would simply suggest that you turn out the metallic, and at the same time you can simply tweak the specular or just get rid of it, and you can get this very, you know, nice object that you can work with. So with this, we can jump back right here, and actually we can stay here, and I can go ahead and select the armature, and within this armature I can launch the animation layers, and once I get this turned on, I can make several changes to it. Now let's take a look at what this looks like once we look at it using X-ray, and for that I will simply zoom in, go over to where we have our shaded, and then I will turn this on. So we have this character working, and we would like to add maybe some movements to the head. Let's say the character looks left or right, you know, simply confirms if anybody is coming behind him. And how we can do that is I'm going to simply come here, click right there, and you can also notice that we have this tiny node in case you want to search for stuff, and you would see that we have the base animation here, and then we have the original animation here. Take a look at the frames that we have. So we have about 56 frames. Let me just simply set this to 56, and then we have that right there. So with 56 frames we can do quite a lot. I would want to make this character look left and maybe look right and look forward. So for us to do that, I will go all the way back, and make sure you're within the pose mode, because this is the mode where you have to make some changes. And then I would go back all the way. Let's simply zoom this right to this point. So I'll go back to frame 1, and within frame 1 we want this character to actually be looking left. Let's raise the head a little bit, not that much, yeah, something like that. Good. So we have this head looking up that way, and then we want to hold that frame for about 10 frames. Let's make that 12 frames, and we would like to, you know, make some very tiny tweaks to that so we can have this animation going up to this point. And then with this done, I would move over to about a frame, let's say frame 20. We want to make this character look a little bit to the front, and let's just simply get this one happening. And then we would like to also hold this frame for about, let's say, another 12 frames, and then we would want this character right now to look to the side. So let's hold this frame just a little bit like this. All right, so let's go all the way to this point where we have, you know, frame 44. We're just going to keep that as it is. This is actually a very rough looking animation right now, so I'm just going to position that right there, and then I'll hold this all the way to this point. Okay, so right now we can go back, and once we press the playback animation, we can see this character actually do what we want it to do. So with this, you can choose to influence how this works. Now, if you're also trying to make tweaks for the hand, you can notice that we have that happening there. I can double click right here and name this head. And let's actually name this head rotation. So I can simply double click and name this head rotation. And with that done, you can go ahead and make several tweaks to different parts of this character. So with the animation layer that you have here, you have everything in your hands to actually make several, you know, keyframe changes to your character, bake them to a particular animation that you're working with, blend them if this is what you want, remove certain keyframes if removing certain keyframes is also what you want. If you want to get some very interesting influence, you want to make changes to these influences, you can also proceed to make those changes. And you can see how easy it is for you to just simply, you know, dial things up and dial things back. And this would definitely help change the way your animations actually look. And one other thing before we go is there is a very amazing looking button right here. So with this button, you can choose to select influencing, you know, joints. So let's say you have this animation layer right here. If you simply click on select bones in the layer, it selects all the bones. And if you go back to the head and you want to know what bone is affecting, and this is an amazing button that you can use to troubleshoot your animation and also tell where issues are happening once your animation begins to act, you know, differently. And so that's about it. If you want to get these, link is going to be in the description where you can find it. And for those who would like to know, you can use this tool alongside Blender 2.81, 2.82 is compatible with 2.83, and as you can see directly on our viewport, it is also compatible with Blender 2.9. So if you're trying to, you know, create that next amazing piece and you're wondering if this is going to be, you know, future compatible, yes, it is. Now, if you want to get this, I'm going to put a link in the description where you can get it, and you can simply go through, get this tool, and start creating something amazing today. So that is definitely going to be about it. I would like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to share with a friend. And if you're new here, it's going to be amazing for you to hit the subscribe button and also turn on notifications so that you don't miss the next video or the next update. And until I see you guys again with a tutorial update, Free Friday, Tutorial Tuesday, tips and tricks, things like this. Peace.